Why do so many people hate the Junction system in Final Fantasy VIII? The Final Fantasy series has always embraced reinvention, for better or worse, from the job systems of 5, to the materia in Final Fantasy VII, to the sphere grid, which is a personal favorite, in Final Fantasy X. Each entry tends to rewrite the rules of character progression, but no system has sparked more confusion, or controversy, or hate than the Junction system in Final Fantasy VIII. That rhymed. It's arguably the most misunderstood and polarizing mechanic in the entire franchise. Ask around and you'll hear the same complaints.
It's too complicated, drawing magic is boring.
And it encourages you not to cast spells. And yes, there is truth to all of that. So if you hate the Junction system, I don't blame you. But once you understand the Junction system, not just how it works, but what it's trying to do, it becomes clear that this wasn't a failed experiment. It was a bold design statement. And for those who connect with it, it's one of the most rewarding systems in the series. Honestly, I think the Junction system is awesome. And you know what else is awesome? If you just hit the like and subscribe button. So let's start off why people bounce off of it. Why don't people like it? For many players, Final Fantasy VIII presents a contradiction. This core mechanic, magic, something from most video games, is something you're encouraged not to use. Instead of casting Fire, Blizzard, or Cure in battle, you draw those spells from enemies, you stockpile it like ammunition, and then assign them to your stats through the Junction menu. The more of a spell you have equipped, the higher the stat boost. Slot 30 cures into your HP stat. Nice. Slot 100, oh yeah, way better. But every time you cast one of those spells, the number goes down. So if we go, from 100 to 99 to 98, your stat boost decreases little by little by little by little until it's a lot. This is a total inversion of the usual use your strongest magic logic, and it feels counterintuitive, even kind of dumb. So yeah, I get it. In the act of drawing magic, it's slow. It's so slow. You might get 6 to 9 spells per turn, per character on like a good draw, and you're spamming the same command over and over, battle after battle, to gradually hit that golden number, 100 of each spell. It's tedious, especially early on, and can definitely feel like busy work. But the bigger issue isn't the tedium, it's the lack of clarity. And I'm kind of looking at this from somebody who hasn't played with the system a whole bunch. The Junction menu is dense. Tabs, abbreviations, vague choices, it's overwhelming for a lot of newcomers, and the game doesn't do a great job of explaining it. There's brief explanations at the beginning of the game, but that's about it. You're just kind of thrown in and expected to figure it out. No wonder so many players find it broken, confusing, or poorly implemented. But here's the thing. Once it does click, the Junction system reveals itself as one of the most powerful tool sets in any Final Fantasy game. It's not just a leveling system, it's a stat sandbox. In most JRPGs, your stats go up by gaining experience points. In Final Fantasy VIII, your stats are shaped by the spells you junction. You want more strength? Slot 100 quakes. Seriously, slot 100 quakes. Want massive HP? Slot full life. Every spell becomes more than just a combat option. Stop thinking of them as spells. They become a resource, a buff, and a piece of your build. And it gets deeper too. The GFs, the Guardian Forces, which is this game's summons, they aren't just flashy attacks. They're skill trees. You can teach them to refine items into magic spells, which you can in turn slot. You can turn cards into high tier spells, which you can slot. or unlock new stat slots to Junction into. If you know what you're doing, you can break the entire game without grinding a single level. And it's not a loophole. That's the point. One of the boldest design choices in Final Fantasy VIII is enemy leveling scaling, especially for this time. It's pretty common practice now, but especially in the mid-late 90s, level scaling in JRPGs wasn't happening very often. But the enemies level up with you. In most RPGs, leveling up makes you stronger than the opposition. In Final Fantasy VIII, it raises the bar for both sides. Some bosses actually become more dangerous if you overlevel, which means leveling up, kind of a trap, kind of a douche move. Instead, the game pushes you to master the systems beneath the surface. Optimize your junctions, choose your magic wisely, avoid unnecessary XP gains, that's right. No gains. You beat the game by outsmarting it, not by overpowering it or outpacing it. That's where the junction system shines. It gives you complete agency. You're not just growing a character, you're engineering one. Every stat, every spell, every ability is under your control. That kind of player freedom was rare in JRPGs back then. Who doesn't love breaking a game, even a JRPG? Because I know for a fact I am not the only one who, in Final Fantasy VII, I leveled up to level 99 before even leaving the first disc. Because I wanted to be overpowered. Now I don't do that now, because it's a big time consumption. But honestly, I don't see the core philosophy of breaking the game through the junction system and leveling up to level 99 in this game or in Expedition 33 or whatever. I don't see those things as so far apart. And there's also a big personal reason I love the junction system is because it scratches a very specific weird itch that I have. Drawing magic, even when it's repetitive, needs a weird compulsion. Stockpiling spells, hitting 100 of everything, slotting them just right. It's like organizing a card collection or tuning a custom car in Forza. The system becomes a metagame, and it's deeply satisfying. Once you're in the mindset, Final Fantasy VIII changes. The menus aren't overwhelming. They're full of potential. Every new spell or item becomes a question of how to fit it into your growing machine. You're no longer just playing Squall's story, you're optimizing a perfectly tuned party that bends the game's systems to your will. Another reason I respect the junction system is it's different. After playing so many RPGs with the same basic structure, you gain XP, you unlock some passives, hit a little bit harder, do a little more damage. It's refreshing to encounter a system that doesn't follow these rules. The junction system demands attention, it asks you to unlearn what you expect from RPGs and approach character growth from a new angle. And yeah, it's weird, and no, it's not perfectly balanced, but it's memorable, and that definitely matters. I'll take a flawed experimental system over a forgettable one any day. I like that Square tried something bold. And you know what? Final Fantasy VIII is already seen as this kind of black sheep, this outlier, this lone wolf of the golden era of Final Fantasies. The junction system it fits that vibe perfectly. Of course, Final Fantasy VIII would have the weirdest progression system of any of these Final Fantasies because Final Fantasy VIII was the weirdest Final Fantasy out of all these Final Fantasies. It followed the beloved Final Fantasy VII, and it preceded the kind of golden child Final Fantasy IX that returned the series to its roots. You know, it traded grungy cyberpunk for dreamy sci-fi romance. It replaced clean narrative beats with a surreal time loop plot, and it threw out traditional RPG mechanics in favor of something stranger. But the junction system isn't weird just to be weird. It fits the game's themes. FF8 is about control over memory, identity, and fate. The junction system kind of mirrors that. It gives you control over your characters. It doesn't let you just play the game. It dares you to master it. And honestly, If Square Enix introduced a system like this today, refined, modernized, and marketed as a deep customization toolkit, people would love it. People would eat it up. You would see YouTube videos on custom builds, min-maxing, flexibility. These are all the things that modern RPG fans love and want. So in that sense, the Junction system was way ahead of its time. If it hadn't launched in the shadow of Final Fantasy VII and flew in the face of already established JRPG tropes, I really think it would have been celebrated instead of dismissed. So, why again do people hate it so much? Because it asks for a little bit of patience, maybe? Because it breaks the rules? Because it makes you think instead of grind, although there is a little bit of a grind to it? Maybe because it's a little weird and because it doesn't feel very Final Fantasy. The Junction system resists you at first, and a lot of players understandably bounce off before seeing what it really offers, but for those who stick with it, it's one of the most rewarding, empowering, and unique mechanics in the entire Final Fantasy series. Not perfect, but brilliant. And maybe it deserves a second chance. Once again, I appreciate you watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you made it this far, for more Final Fantasy content, hit the notification bell. Now, let me know if you are one of those people that I just couldn't convert with my 10 out of 10 amazing video. Let me know why. Sorry, my allergies are going crazy. Let me know why you don't like the Junction system. Is it because it's like grindy and tedious? Or is it just because it's like weird and you just don't like it for some reason? All is fair in Final Fantasy. So let me know in the comments why you like it. Let me know why you don't like it, because I really want to know what you guys think. Me personally, I've always loved it. I don't know. It's just, like I said, it kind of feeds into this weird itch I have to tinker with, this spell here and that spell there and kind of swap them around and see how that makes my strength go up or down by how much. So I've always loved that aspect of not just the Junction system, but that aspect of any kind of video games, the fine tuning of it. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. You guys have an amazing day, and God bless.